Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with earnings on the radar for the week of March 10th. So definitely one of the things you will notice is that earnings thin out a bit. Less big names each day, and while there are some stocks that should move and likely could impact other names, a couple of the biggest events this week are more likely going to be economic related, which I'll talk about in a minute. Okay, so starting with today, Monday, after the close, Nutanix, about $4 is what's priced in, but those are monthly options, meaning they expire next week. So it's really kind of like the lone semi-interesting name. It's been quiet since the end of January, and it's well off kind of like the momentum fueled December high. So I feel like the fact that there's doesn't seem like there's an imminent deal could cap near-term upside, but also any pullback would probably be viewed as a dip buying, and maybe that reignites deal talks. So um, maybe kind of keeps like keeps like volatility in check this quarter. So probably something I'd look at post earnings, not into the report. Before the open on Tuesday, you have Dix, about 11 and a half points is what's expected. You can occasionally have big moves on earnings, but what I've noticed is that volatility on retail has been a bit lower this quarter, so maybe not the best environment to bet on a big gap on Dix. I do like the way it moves though, and it'll probably be something I watch for like a possible day trade, depending on what the results are. Also, pre-market tomorrow, SE, pricing in $9. It definitely seems like a setup where it should move, right? I mean, like a move, like a large move higher starts a near-term breakout, a large move lower puts it back through some key support. Um, I guess the thing I don't like is the option pricing because at 9, I just don't know how much room options leave here. So it does make it a bit tougher of like a setup to carry options into the print, but it's definitely gonna be something I'm watching after the print. And then also tomorrow during the morning, you have Powell's testimony, and that is going to be a pretty closely watched event for the entire market, and it could have a pretty big impact just on the overall trading tomorrow. After the close on Tuesday, CrowdStrike about 1450 is what they're looking for. It's a big software report. It got hit. It got hit maybe a little bit unfairly at the end of November, and I think at the time it was more like valuation concerns. But I mean, the stock has made back a good chunk of that. It's acting well, grinding higher. The problem is that now it's up 3 days in a row, and pure Zscaler just got hit after a pretty solid report on valuation, and now CrowdStrike's valuation is ticking back up again. So it's like, is the bar much higher now that the stock has rallied? It's more of like a tough setup after this pretty substantial 3 day move, and also when you consider what Zscaler just did when it reported this past week. So I'm kind of on the fence with it. It's something that I would expect to move like Zscaler or Cloudflare or Okta, but as far as like CrowdStrike, I might just be waiting and seeing. Before the open on Wednesday, a couple staples, nothing that I'm probably going to be involved with. Campbell Soup's pricing in about 2 points, and then UNF5, which is pricing in about four. Those are monthly options. It's just not been a focus for me, like this groups, and I doubt I'm going to start messing around with them this week. Every once in a while, one of them will move, but I don't have enough interest in them to want to risk money. Wednesday after the close, Asana, so about 275 is what they're looking for. Um, Historically, volatile name stock has been tight for the past month. Option pricing is not cheap, but if I can get risk down, I mean, it looks like it's something that could have like a three, maybe a little bit more move either way. So it's going to revolve around getting risk down mainly. MongoDB about 34 and a half is what's expected. It's another one historically volatile in earnings, but I have more mixed feelings about it because it's had a couple big moves on recent reports, and I wonder if option pricing has jumped a bit too dramatically and it's due for an off quarter. And with options at 34 and a half, almost 35, it seems high to me. Probably something I'd prefer to trade the day after. If the stock doesn't have a huge gap, option pricing comes down, leaves some room for a trade one way or the other. Before the open on Thursday, BJ's so about $6. Those are monthly options. We've had Costco earnings, we've had Walmart earnings, which Walmart owns Sam's Club, so there shouldn't be too many surprises with BJ's, but that might not stop it from moving. Um, it's not my favorite name to trade, so I'll probably just watch it. JD 325 is what's expected. Baba got hit after okay results 2 weeks ago, so we'll see what JD says and whether it can turn weak momentum around. There's been reports, and part of the weakness is stemmed from the fact that they're starting like a price, bit of like a price war with some of the other like low cost e-commerce names. So um, for the upside, I'd have to like to see it decisively turn the corner because it's a broken name, very weak. Momentum is lower, and I mean, just seeing that Baba gave up gains on earnings day and closed red. I mean, I'd be more, if I was thinking higher, it'd be more of like probably post earnings versus ahead of earnings. Thursday after the close, probably the biggest night of the news of the week, including you have Friday morning jobs reports. So the combination of Thursday after hours and then Friday morning is probably going to produce some volatility. DocuSign, they're looking for about $8. It's an interesting setup, and these types of beaten down software stocks have been moving recently. Um, but I also just wonder if option pricing takes away most of the potential here at 8. Um, I guess if I had to choose a direction, I might favor higher due to recent action in this group, but my confidence level is lower with it. So I guess I'll see how the week goes and maybe make a game time decision on Thursday. Oracle pricing in 475, tight chart right near its year-to-date high. Looks like a solid setup for movement, but um, overall volatility on earnings days has dried up a bit the past 2 quarters, so it does make it a bit tougher with options around 475. So maybe if I can get risk down substantially to a level where I'd only need maybe like a $3 move to make money, but that also could be kind of hard. Alta, so about $27 is what's priced in. I mean, just the definition of a strong trending stock, and typically those are the names that I prefer to avoid for earnings. Usually, when I see strong trending, whether it's higher or lower, that usually to me equates to lower volatility around earnings or events for that matter in general. So, I mean, unless something changes, it's probably going to be an avoid. Gap, $1.25 is what's priced in, and then Zoomies, which is priced in about 275, but those are monthly options. So these are a couple of mall retailers. Gap has had some movement in the past, but neither of these stocks really stand out to me as like a compelling setup where I'd want to risk money on them right now. Maybe if I had to choose one, I'd go with Gap, but I don't think I'm necessarily going to be involved with that. And then Friday before the open is the jobs report, and that's going to be another big catalyst for the overall market. So, um, you have a few big earnings, a handful of big priced in moves, but it does seem like from an overall market perspective, Powell's testimony and the jobs report are probably going to be front and center. So those are going to be the big catalysts of the week. All right. Either way, though, it should be interesting. We'll see how the week goes, and we'll see what the market gives us. All right. So if you like this video, be sure to come check out the Alpha Team Room. We do talk about a lot of these setups the day of, the day after. Updated pricing, expectations, and what happens after the fact. So if you do like trading earnings, be sure to come on by. All right. So best of luck if you're playing in them. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you later in the week.